Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting list video. I want to start by saying I appreciate all the comments on our last one, which was most brutal basic weaknesses. We actually had a lot of people disagree, or say, why didn't you say this? Which was actually cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but did anyone disagree with overzealous?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
No, because overzealous is it's a doozy. This week, I appreciate the suggestions for new one. We're going off a list Travis made, which is top 5 elite enemies, and then I added not ancient ones, so it just wasn't like Azathoth on all the lists.
If we look at suggestions, they get added to the list, so don't worry about that.
We could have done something neat where like our top one could have been like Haster, but a different one for each of us.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do that in the
There
future.
will be an ancient ones video eventually, but it'll probably be like top 3 because there's only
like actually
5.
not that many of them.
Yeah.
So let's start with Bryn's number 5, which is the Harbinger of Velusia. This is the big snake boy that shows up throughout the entirety of the Forgotten Age. And he's just basically there to be a big enemy with 3 attack, 3 evade, and 3 key. He's just basically word soup.
Yeah, he's pretty much just there to be like, you're going too slow, pick up the pace. That's it, that's all he does here. He's on my list because he was one of the elite enemies that I could remember without having to look at a list of them.
Man,
I
this
feel
guy
like he's vaguely iconic.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is probably one of the most... I mean, he is the persistent threat throughout the Forgotten Age, right?
When we do worst lead enemies, he's going to be on my list.
Yeah, right.
I just think... I feel like his forced thing isn't relevant enough because it just... We never...
I'll talk about that during the worst lead enemies whenever that happens.
Yeah. But,
budget your content, Justin Bear.
My number 5 is the Clover Club Pit Boss. I'm only going to say a little bit on this because, spoiler alert, it might be on someone else's list on a higher number, so I don't want to go too deep. So we'll come back to this guy later in that when there's more people talking. But overall, I just think the flavor of this guy is incredible, and we'll put a little bookmark in this and come back to him soon. Travis's number 5 is Padma Amrita, who is from one of the Forgotten Age ones. This is the one where you have to, like, the locations keep flipping between the 2 times.
Yes.
And she's like the boss that shows up when you're like, we've done it. We're almost done. Oh, there's a boss fight? Wait a minute.
So she has like 2 redeeming features for me. Her scenario is pretty garbage. Her campaign is pretty garbage.
Place of 2 redeeming.
She's not particularly... Yeah, no, I'm getting to that.
We're just like covering every other quality first.
She's not worth like super killing because she's got vengeance, and like that's sometimes bad, depending on what you're planning to do.
Victory 2's a lot in that kind of a campaign, though.
Yep. She's got a bunch of keywords.
She does. As everyone did in Forgotten Age.
Yeah, her text box isn't particularly flavorful or anything like that. But the 2 things she has going for her are, if you've watched our previous videos, she is cute. And there's not many like attractive characters in Arkham games.
Yeah.
That doesn't show up very often. The other redeeming feature she has is like in the epilogue of that campaign. It's a little bit spoilery, but it references or it alludes to what's her face, Ishtaka's true destiny.
Yeah, that was kind of the foreshadowing of what was to come.
Yeah, it provides a lot, like, I think some very important foreshadowing and background for the development of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I appreciated her more, but I didn't remember her when I was looking through.
Yeah, we never
Every time we talk about this scenario, or like I shoehorn her in.
I mean, it's true, but also, like, I think the times I've played this scenario, I've died before she's shown up. Because I'm like, we're almost done. Go all in on this. And then, there's a boss fight. So hopefully when we come through the Forgotten Age again, I'll remember it this time.
The boss fight shows up, she's like, flip your doom into clues, where you die, and you're like, Or your clues into doom, where you die, and you're like, okay.
Bryn's number 4, I think, speaking of Ishtaka, here she is.
That was pretty convenient.
Yeah. Go for it, Bryn. I'll let you start.
I think she just does a very solid job as a first boss of showcasing that maybe fighting things isn't the most important thing in this campaign. You've got all kinds of options for ways to deal with her, but you do have to.
Yeah. Her stats are, she's a house.
She is an absolute house. Sometimes she's your best friend, sometimes she hates you, sometimes she doesn't matter at all.
I like that if you don't do a good job convincing her that you're her friend, she shoots you.
Yeah.
You're like, hang on now, let's talk this out.
Oh!
No.
I do like also the gameplay that she provides where Bryn one time put fine clothes into his deck to the point that like I just in the Amazon just alright, Ishtaka's coming and it just get all nice and spiffy.
I also like how you get to try multiple times to convince her, and if each time you fail, she'll just keep shooting you again.
Yeah.
But she's still willing to listen the next time.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the punishment on that, 2 wounds, is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Especially if your guy's trying to actually realistically parlay with book.
Yeah. That's why I think a green character with fine clothes is a good way of going about talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's great, and she also has like a through line throughout the whole thing, which kind of also makes her a bit more memorable of a character.
Yeah,
which is she's probably one of the big positives about.
That was a big part about the elite stuff is that like a lot of them I just didn't remember.
Yeah, a lot of them were like, so this guy showed up, I killed them, I forgot about them.
Yep.
Yeah. My number 4 is Big Butt Baby, the Royal Emissary. This guy has a big special place in my heart because I think he's completely fair and not at all memorable. But
What?
But I think just the fact that we have made him who he is what makes Big Butt Baby so cool to me. The first time he showed up, I was like, this is impossible. How are we going to beat this guy? If you're standing next to him, he's screaming and you're going to go crazy, right? But you can't be in there to fight him because then you're like...
And he's just going to kill you.
You're going to go crazy and he's going to beat you. And then when you kill him, you're like, we've done it. But then it's like, oh, it goes back and he's going to show up. But I think he's completely fair, and I love the Big Butt Baby lore that we have built for this guy.
My record for Big Butt Baby kills in one scenario is 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So...
you got a high record for someone else on this list.
Yeah, I think it's next on this list, too.
Yeah. Anyway, if anybody can beat that, let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us what you use.
I look at the official art because to get the thumbnails for these, and Big Butt Baby's probably going to be the thumbnail for this video.
Nice.
It's not a Big Butt Baby. It's a scary monster when you see the high res. But
my only surprise here is that he was not higher on your list.
no, I couldn't put him that because of that thing. Like, it's more for us than like the card itself. And the other ones kind of go in the whole card.
We're not talking about what the best ones are. What's our favorites?
Speaking of things we kill a lot, here's Brown Jenkin, a rat man from whatever, I forget what the scenario is called, but it's the one where you have to kill a bunch of rats.
You
and
go
Brown
into the
Jenkin
witch house or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back and watch another one of our top 10 videos, I talk about why, and also like the scenario review, I talk about why I like this guy so much, and it's not just because I get killing lots. I think that was a very clever way of like integrate and very flavorful way of allowing your monster killers in the scenario to get clues and like you're tracking down and interrogating the rat man.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's your record on this guy, Travis?
I think it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think it was 8.
He's like
I think
a
it was
lot.
8. We definitely had 2 dice out to count it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. If you can beat that one, let us know so that Travis can call you a liar.
This is the new challenge. Kill all the elite enemies as many times as we did. Bryn's number 3 is none other than the Ghoul Priest.
Classic.
This guy was almost on my list.
Me
This
too.
guy's just iconic.
Yeah.
Yep.
The art's fantastic.
Not like an incredibly tough enemy or anything like that. But I remember
I mean,
the first time.
When you got 2 core sets between 4 people, oh baby.
Yeah, I was sitting around in a circle trying to fight him, but like our goon has no bullets left and no other weapons in their deck because 2 core sets. We got like switchblades, but they don't do anything.
Yeah, we got
like
Skids with
basic
switchblade.
knife.
We got Wendy with
Yeah, we
basic
got
knife.
Wendy with a baseball bat. And it's like you still only get to 3.
Yeah, that was tough.
It was pretty tough.
but
He had
like-
20 health. That's so much health.
Yeah, I mean, even at 2 players, you're like 10 health. You're like,
Yeah.
how do we do it? Right?
Yeah. And now after playing this game for 4
after
years,
playing
we
it a
show up
bit,
and we're
it's
just
like, okay, that's not so bad.
But I agree with this because he's just iconic.
Mhm.
Like he's the first boss in the
Yeah.
game, and like
And like at the end of the day, he's actually still like kind of scary. He has a big pile of health. He chunks you like 2 hearts and 2 brains is a
lot of damage. He's worth 2 victory.
That 2 brains is especially scary considering he goes after the highest punch, and they
which is
typically don't
Roland
have.
Banks, yeah.
Yep.
He also it's never happened to us, but he will chase you throughout the entire campaign.
Oh yeah, we
which is
usually
really
just
cool.
just pick a room and like cool, like this is This
This is where you die,
This is it.
Goldface.
But I think
game's
that's
gonna end here.
a really cool feature of the character as well, which makes it pretty dang
he
sweet.
even persists into the next scenario,
Yeah,
assuming you don't kill him in the first one.
yeah, it's so cool. And even to the
It's-
third
it's
one too,
cool,
if you don't
yeah.
kill him in the second one.
They did a good
Yeah.
job of like showing that that's how things that happen in previous scenarios can affect later ones.
Yeah.
In a very obvious way.
Yeah, good job, Ghoul Priest.
Yeah.
You're a fucking killer. Who's my number 3? I forget. Oh, Ishimaru Haruko.
I knew she was going to be on your list.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a mention to all 5 of the party guests,
Right.
but most notably her, because I've...
Every time you draw a card, you're like, ugh.
yeah, I mean, just when Travis read in our first playthrough the flavor text of her spine, I was like, it's a nightmare! We're in a nightmare! And I don't know a moment that has affected me like that since then. And so she's just...
I think she was the first one we flipped to, and you're
She
like,
was.
the rest are going to be so bad.
But they weren't. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
She's the best one of them.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, good God. It was just, like, a visceral punch into my imagination that... And the art's fantastic. And yes, Ishimaru, that dress does look good on you. It looks great.
She's like an honorary snake lady.
Yeah, she is. But, like, centipede snake. But, like, bones, there's spines. It's gross as fuck.
She's like, I'm pretty sure there's a boss in Resident Evil 4.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
the trench coat guy.
yes, yeah, that was a cool
yeah.
boss fight. It's a cool game.
It's like this.
Yeah,
but
good God.
different.
Man, she's great.
You never asked
What's her
if any
ability?
dress looks good on
Yeah,
her.
that's fine. It's all just an ability. It's just the flavor of her. She's fucking killer.
Yeah.
Travis. Hey, it's this guy.
It's the guy that you like,
Plus.
too.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he watches you and makes sure you don't cheat.
Yep.
And if you do, he punches you.
Yeah.
Yep. As
Also
Like,
engage.
you know,
until you die.
Also engages you too.
Yeah.
Right. Which doesn't seem like relevant text when you think about most enemies, but the fact that in that encounter.
You can't hit him back.
Yeah, if you hit an enemy,
Yeah.
you immediately advance, which cuts off, I think, 4 turns from you.
yeah.
Which is an incredible amount of time for this one, where it basically then makes you think, I can't gain clues while he's here.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the flavor of it is just incredible. And he
Yeah.
goes after the highest book, so he goes after the smartest looking person.
Yeah,
That guy has
this was
glasses.
This
definitely.
guy looks like a nerd. He's probably doing math for blackjack.
That's his job, is to pick up those people. But it's one of the first times in like the campaign in Dunwich where we were like, man, this is like so cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Like just the world building around it and the flavor of it is so good.
And then also, it doesn't feel unfair because it's very easy to actually work around. Like he actually is a very small threat when you've played it like after the first time.
Yeah,
It's so
like-
easy to just walk around him. And I played Dunwich solo, and it's also really cool with him because you like really feel like he's following just you because you're the only
Yeah.
one. So then you have to like move to another room, but he's going to appear there anyway. It's a really cool mechanic. I think this guy's a home run.
I do also really like how he influences you to go gamble
Yeah.
because he follows around your highest investigated person,
Yeah.
so it makes it hard for them to get clues.
Yeah.
And so then you have like your 2 fighters. You're like, well, we don't want to shoot him, so I guess we'll just go gamble.
Yeah. Or go get a drink at the bar, or
Yeah.
go sell somebody to the club. Go sell Pete to the club. Or
So what's going around here? And they're like, nothing illegal. Don't worry about it. You're like, what if I gave you this man? And they're like, well, I mean,
Yeah, I'll take that sophomore from high school. Sure.
you're right. This is
You
illegal,
belong
and we're
to
doing it right
Wormstroke
now.
That's oh god, that's still so funny. Bryn's number 2 is none other than Alejandro Availa, or is he?
I fucking hate this guy.
Look at his smug look.
Yeah, he sucks.
There is like no redeeming quality to this.
He's got a dirty mustache.
Man, I just want to say we called it though from day one. We were
Yeah.
like, don't like Alejandro,
Yeah.
because he was like, I hate natives, and we're like, slow down, Alejandro. That's very
It was
inappropriate.
just like, so these guys are going to stand in our way. Well, we're going to go try to investigate these ruins. Let's just shoot them all.
Like we're not even gonna try anything else. Like,
Yeah, there's
That's like the first plan.
we
yeah.
have 3 other stats here, Alejandro, that we can use.
But anyway, my favorite part of this campaign is the part where he's like, surprise, I was a bad guy the entire time. And you're like, I fucking knew it. And then you kill him.
Yeah,
That's
he
my
actually
favorite
is a
part.
pretty
Yeah.
good. Okay, the one thing about Forgotten Age that I think is really good is it really feels like a pulpy action movie.
Yep.
Right. Like the story was a.
It feels like an Indiana Jones movie.
It does, yeah. Like he sells us out to some Yithians, and we're like, okay, sure.
I do just like how they try to. I think it's like a little bit cheap how they, or not even cheap, but like lazy, how they try to like give him a redeeming arc that lasts like 2 paragraphs at the end of the, I think it's the Yithian one, where like you break out and then he's like, oh, what happened? And then you're like, oh, like you're supposed to think maybe he's not an asshole, but he just still is.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. He's always a jerk.
Yeah. I don't ever intend to play the ending.
Oh, just you wait.
where you're on his side. I don't mean to do that.
I think it's the wrong choice, but just you wait.
I only have 1 of the 3 votes.
I do love that when we tried to go for the perfect ending, we always would just kill him first.
Yeah.
It's just like,
look at him.
Yeah.
He's got a very punchable face.
Yeah. Man, but he also, like, you don't want to do the frickin' test because it's plead for your life. I'm not going to go to this guy.
No, that's like, I'm never begging this guy for shit. I'd rather just lose.
We should have just shot them. You're right. Please don't kill me. You fucking asshole.
You remember 2 months ago when you said we should shield the natives? You were right.
Yeah.
Can we do that now?
Good God.
The answer is no. Snake Ishtaka is like way stronger than regular Ishtaka.
Yeah. He's pretty chunky too.
He is chunky.
He is.
Yeah.
6 fight is a lot.
Yeah. Man, the days when we tried it, that was just such a nightmare trying to get the perfect ending on that. And then we were just
I remember like we did that for like 2 weeks, and like the 4th game we were all just like,
Yeah, we're just like, we're gonna go. We're gonna just play it. We haven't earned it. We're just gonna play it. And then we're like, it wasn't worth it.
The all green run, we were just gonna get it by accident. It's amazing.
They're like, back to the jungle with you. And we're like,
my number 2 is the Organist. Either version. I think the design on this character, as I said in the last 2 videos ago, the reference to one of my favorite short stories is top notch. The art is kind of edgy, so I'm not gonna say I like it, but
it's kind of Michael Jackson.
It is, yeah. Goth. You're just like, it's like the Crow.
He's got the hat. He's got like the pale skin. He's got like, I mean, you can only see one of his hands, but his glove.
Yeah, so like, we can only
very
see
stylish.
one glove, so we must assume that he doesn't have.
I think that's actually just his skin. I don't even think that's the glove. I think you just see his white skin.
There you go.
But the design of this character, how there's 2 versions. I guess I should say this again, just in case this is your first time watching one of these list videos. But the fact that you can have either the one where you're scared of him and running away, or chasing after him because he's running away from you and you're trying to find out more, I think is a huge flavor home run for this character. And
the whole scenario is just good.
Yeah, and I like the flavor of him. The short story is great. You should go read it. In the Court of the Dragon, I think it's called. Travis. Your number 2 is the Piper of Azeroth. Toot toot.
Toot toot.
So, fun fact, this was Spectral Watcher.
And then I discovered he was an ancient one.
Yeah, he technically is an ancient one, so he changed the
I
Piper
didn't
of
think
Azeroth.
he was, but like, I was pretty sure Spectral Watcher wasn't, but like, it's what his card says. Anyway, I like Piper of Azathoth. If you go back again to our, I think it's like our scenario reviews or something like that. I can't remember which one I talked about it in. But I really like the theme of impending doom that they work very hard to instill in the players. And I'm going to talk about more when we get to our number 1 choice, but different flavor of it. Where this one is like very, it's very obvious. Where like the cards, or it's very tangible rather, where you like have to draw the cards from the counter decks and like fail the tests or whatever, and then eventually he comes up and starts playing his horn, and it's bad. His big bagpipe head. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing himself.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, so that was 100% modeled after a bagpipe.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
I think this might be the first enemy I've ever seen where Monster Hunter is something that I'd want to have in my deck to deal with.
Yeah.
What is that to?
Almost nothing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Almost nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I also like the flavor of how if you're not engaged in fighting with him, he gets the time to play his flute and it deals sanity damage to you.
Yeah.
But if you're fighting him, he has to fight you. So.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool design, and also he's going to show up a lot. Like, he shows up at any time there's the pipes playing, which makes sense.
And it's a smart enemy. It goes after the guy with the least remaining sanity. He knows that it's not efficient to deal damage to everybody. You got to pick them off one by one.
This guy's just like Santa Claus. He knows if you're good or bad. He knows if you're
Monster Hunter is running around with like 1 brain left. He's like, I need a moment to catch my breath. This guy's like, no.
And he has 2 feet.
Like
He has 2 feet, so you're like, I'll evade him really easily. But then you're like, I'm not. No, I'm still here. I'm just,
then he just blows you up.
With his Vuvuzela. Yeah, I think it's cool. The art's great too.
Yeah.
Bryn's number 1 is Narrowgath. He is the in return to
Midnight Masks.
It's the replacement for the Masked Hunter.
Yes.
This could have very easily also been the Masked Hunter. I just think this guy's cooler.
He is cooler. He's like a monster with
His
claw.
stats, man, have like a skull and the spine. He just like pulled it right at the end.
Yeah, the other one's just like a big ball of stats. This guy does like a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
Mine is actually very similar, so I'm just gonna hop over to mine. Mine is the Masked Hunter himself.
Incredible.
When this guy shows up the first time, your mind is blown. You're like, this is inconceivable.
Where's the other enemy
You can't do that. How come there's only 5 enemies in the cultist deck?
Yeah, and the reason why he went in over Narrowgath is because I remembered this guy. I forgot about Narrowgath because we've only played the Return to Midnight Mask once.
Yeah.
But he just changes the game when you're playing this the first time, and
anytime we advance the actor agenda, it could be an enemy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it still shocks me every time it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis is always so coy. He's like, just like I usually advance
There
the
you
thing,
go, Justin.
and then, what a twist! But this guy is, and he even when you're prepared for him, he can fuck you up. Like
He does do a lot of damage. Not Ghoul Priest damage because no one does.
Yeah.
Except ancient ones. Ancient ones do.
Yeah.
But
like he spawns engaged with the person with the most clues, so the person not prepared for it. And in Midnight Masks, you're designed to be a part. So then it's like, I can get there and then engage him, and then he's just going to stab me with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
On the subject of his damage, there is one character or one elite enemy who does like ancient one damage. He's an ancient one, and he almost made my list. But like I wanted to put him in, but I couldn't come up with a good reason why. It was Formless Spawn.
Oh, is that the one that's at the Temple of
Yeah,
Magi?
He chunks for 3 hearts and 3 brains.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He's the third boss in the Shattered Aeons one.
Yeah.
I just think this guy is like the Ghoul Priest, iconic to the game, but he's like a hidden iconic. So even to the point where he's not on the elite enemy list on Arkham DB because he's technically an agenda card. Yeah. This guy is just very important to the game in my opinion, and very cool. And his look is scary. If you walk down an alley and this guy just with 2 kukris is just standing there, you're like, I'm gonna die.
Why did you like the other guy more than him?
Well,
Why is he better besides the bone aesthetic? He's cooler.
he like does more stuff.
Yeah,
he does different stuff.
His design is very good at like hurting the core concept of the game. So it's less like of Midnight Masks where you have to parlay with cultist enemies, where it's an easy way to
actually
defeat
make
them.
it more difficult.
Yeah, like I guess I've just seen this one more. Like when I played on my own, I don't know. I played the Return to deck.
He's definitely like a better card
The
design.
coin flip, I see that
but
one more often. It seems.
I think he's more flavorful though. Like they both have Hunter, and this guy's like a normal guy. But like you think the other guy, you think this guy's going out dressed on the town like that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
That's his outfit. He's gonna wear it in the club.
Yeah, he's a hit at the club.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, he's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah,
But no, I would agree with you. I feel like this guy does fit more into the aesthetic of what Midnight Masks is, which is just
but it's
normal
worse
people.
gameplay.
Yeah, but I think it's fair because you have the choice between the two, right?
I'm not trying to discredit your opinion here, Ben, or anything. I'm just
Curious.
I think the existence of the other one is important so that you don't know what's coming.
Yeah, you could.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Like it makes running through that campaign multiple times more interesting.
definitely.
Because
Definitely.
like the replayability just kind of doesn't exist without the
I think on this note, the Masked
kind of
Hunter.
variance.
Also, a little star. I'm going to cheat a little bit. This also includes all the cultists from Midnight Masks because they all are really cool with their own story that all makes
You
sense.
already did that for one. Gee, Justin, how come you get to pick 15 enemies and we only get 5?
That's what you get. That's what you get.
I mean, it's not even 15. It's like 18 because there's 3 extra ones.
Yeah, even more.
What the hell, Justin?
I'm
Stop
the
cheating.
best.
Come on.
I'm the best. Travis, the Beast of Aldebaran.
Yeah, so talking about my like of the impending doom, I believe there's a couple of scenarios in like there's a bunch that he shows up in.
Yeah, 3.
In the Path to Carcosa. I think there's 1 or 2 where you are constructed to set him aside, but he doesn't actually show up.
Cool.
He can't. He's just like you pull him off the side and you're like, this guy's gonna show up and kill us, but he doesn't.
So that's like the whole meta idea behind Carcosa, where you as the player are actually crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
I really love the art for this one too. I like the sneaky form. I like the coloring. I think it's also possible to not encounter him.
No, you must fight him in
You have to fight.
Yeah.
You have,
he shows up.
Yeah.
I think, but he stays in.
I think you have to fight him in the one before that, the like above below.
If you're
one,
too
whatever it's
late,
called.
he shows up.
I think you can avoid it if you like really crush the scenario, though.
I believe so. I think at the very least he shows up, but you don't need to like do anything. You can just go
leave.
through the portal. But in the Unspeakable Oath, he could be in the monster deck and then just never show up.
Yeah.
But I think this guy is like actually a perfect mini boss design. He's big enough to be scary, but like not so big that you're like, hey, we need like all three of us working on this right now. He definitely, the way his ability works, and like he picks off individual allies and cards, and you can't just like spread the damage out however you want over and over again, as you usually do.
Yeah, kind of like it's very similar to the design in the Trolls from Lord of the Rings, where you normally just block with an ally and chump, but they trample over to other heroes or to your threat meter. This guy follows a very similar thing of making you change of how you approach tanking damage for one of these enemies.
Yep, and he's massive.
Yeah.
So like he is a problem.
And then also only 3 attack makes you more prone to attacking him as opposed to evading him.
Yep.
And then his ability triggers, which is... He's also massive. Like, that's a huge thing, too. Like, he's a big boy who's there to party.
My big part of it is he's only worth Victory 1.
Yeah.
So I just think this is like, they really nailed it for like mini boss flavor.
Yeah, this guy was on my list. 18's not enough. I'm also going to put him on my list, too. But yeah, no, this guy's great. I think he's very scary, and when he shows up at Dim Carcosa, you're like, all right, boss number 1 of our 2 boss battle, right?
Except sometimes you got those other 2 assholes who punish you, flip
Yes,
cards over, and this guy shows up, and you're just like...
Sometimes you got a pseudo boss in the fact that all of the cultists in the entire deck spawn in the Palace of the King. And you can't go there until like you're at finish the thing, and then you're like, well, there's like a bunch of guys here, and they're gonna hurt me.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that snare can get messy pretty quick.
Yes. I think a big thing, though, is that there's a lot of really cool elite enemies, and I liked not putting the ancient ones in this to make it so that we showcase some of these enemies that were a little bit more from the design and like the impact they have, not just the final boss, right?
See, I'm of the opposite opinion. I think the elite enemies in general have been kind of lackluster. Most of them are just big balls of stats with a minor effect.
Yeah, that's fair, but I mean, like the ones we highlight today, we liked all of them, right? So there's at least like, except for the Harbinger of Illusia, but like we all had positives to say about the things on our lists, right?
I mean, like, yeah, but a lot of those reasons, I think, I mean, like, not a lot, but like a reasonable amount of those reasons were pretty shallow, and were like, some of them were very sort of meme oriented.
Well, but I mean that's part of the game, right? Like, there's a reason why like we like certain investigators more than others, right? Because of the stories behind them and like what we can concoct with them, right? Which I think shows to the flavor of these guys. I agree. More often than not, elite enemies are just balls of stats, right? But I think most things in this games are just...
I don't disagree that there's like good ones, but I think a lot of them are just very forgettable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, going through the list, there's 69, and I only had like 8 that I liked, right?
18.
19.
19?
Yeah. But yeah, what are you guys' favorite non-elite enemies?
Non-ancient
one elite enemies.
No, I want to know your favorite non-elite enemies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tell me, why is it the cultist?
Basic
Dark Cult?
rat.
Yeah. So what are your favorite elite enemies that aren't ancient ones? And then also, once again, if you have any ideas for future lists you want us to make, we'll do them. They're very easy and very fun to talk.
Let us know why it's the
we love doing this.
5 reasons that Mark Harrigan is currently the best investigator in the game.
Yes. Yeah.
And tell us why.
That'll happen one day, and it won't even be an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Maybe next thing we'll do is we'll do a negative list next. We'll do least favorite for one of our next lists because we've just been happy about the winners. But
why don't we just cheat and we like go through into a run of ideas for top, and then we just start over with our least favorite?
Because I think a mix is good, right? Because there's those people who want to like see the negatives.
That's fair. I like complaining about things.
Yeah. Me too. I'm ready to talk shit about some aspects of one of my favorite board games ever.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.